Okay, what is a Java identifier? Okay, we'll take some examples on this. Okay, after that we'll go with the keywords. How many keywords we have in the Java? I will list of the all keywords for each and every topic. After that we'll go with the data types. Okay, if time permits we'll go with the operators. Okay, so let's start with this Java identifier. What is meant by identifier in Java? Very simple here. See, a name in any program is called identifier. What is that one? A name in any program is called an identifier. It may be a class name, variable name, or method name, etc. If you see this one, a name in any program is called an identifier. So it may be class name or method name or variable name here. Okay, so it is a definition of the identifier. I will take small example. So we have to find what are the identifiers in that program here. So here simple program I'm taking class test, it's a class name, public static void main, it is a main method. So after that I want to take the command line arguments here. String is a class in our Java, args a variable name, and I will take one more variable called int I equals to 10. Now system dot out dot print, I want to print the I variable on the console. Okay, see, so in this program, so can you guess, so what are the identifiers we have? So what is an identifier? Identifier is a name in any program is called identifier. So it may be a class name, method name, or variable name. Okay, so let's start with the first one here. Test is a class. Test is a class, that's why it is a one identifier. And here main is a main method name, it is a method name, it is an identifier. Next one here is args. Okay, args is a variable name or parameter name, it is an identifier. So in Java string is a class. Okay, that's why it starts with the capital letter. S is a capital letter C, so it is an identifier here. Class name or variable name or method name. And here I is a variable name, that's why it's called an identifier. And the system, see, S is a capital, it is a class in Java. System is a class in Java, that's why it's an identifier. And in a system class there is a static variable, that's why I'm accessing this static variable using the class name. In the last class we discussed, right? So we can access static variables or static methods. Once I'm repeating here, we can access static variables and static methods by using the class name. That's why system.out, out is one variable name here. We'll come to know what is the system.out later, but remember out is a variable in the system class and it is an identifier. So print, it is a method. Okay, it is an identifier here. Okay, these all are called identifiers in this program. Okay, what is an identifier? Okay, a name in any program is called identifier. It may be a class name, method name, or variable name here. Now, so we have to, there are some rules, okay, we have to follow while defining the identifiers or while writing the identifier. That means, so while writing a class name, method name, and variable name, we have to follow some rules. Okay, what are the rules we have? Okay, so let's start with this first rule. I'm keeping separated here. Rules for defining identifiers. Identifier. What is the first rule we have? Listen carefully. The first point here is, so identifier consists of a sequence of characters, right? Like say test, those are called sequence of characters, where each character is a letter from A to Z. Where each character is a letter from A to Z, that means both lower and uppercase letters, or it may be a digit from 0 to 9, or currency symbol, okay, a dollar symbol, or connecting punctuation like underscore. Okay, so we can use those things and we can write a, okay, or we can define the identifier here. I'm writing, see this one, identifier is an identifier consists of sequence of characters where each character is a letter from A to Z, both uppercase and lowercase here. Okay, or a digit we can take digits as well. Okay, digit from 0 to 9. Okay, so or okay, currency symbol, or I can take the dollar symbol, or we can take the underscore. Okay, so if you are taking other than the symbols, okay, we'll get the compile time error actually. So whenever writing the identifier, we should follow some rules. The first rule here is, so we have to take the letters from A to Z, both upper and or lowercase, or we can take the digits 0 to 9, or we have to take the dollar symbol, that's the currency symbol, or we have to use the currency, the underscore actually. These are the first rule here. For example, I'm taking the total number. Okay, I'm taking the total number. See this one, total underscore I can take, and I can take like this. It is a valid here, no issues. For example, I'm taking the, so all at hands. Is it a valid or not? It is a invalid. So we should not take the at symbol, okay, in the identifier. You have to take either underscore or currency symbol if you want to take the special characters. If you are taking other than that, we'll get the compile time error. Okay, so these are the first rule you have to remember. So coming to the second rule here, the first character in a identifier should not be a digit. Okay, what I'm trying to say is the first character in a identifier should not be a digit. First character should not be a digit here. Example. Okay, very simple. I'm taking, see this one. I'm taking the total 1, 2, 3. Is it a valid or not? Yes, it is valid. We can take digits after first character. So it is a valid. What about the 1, 2, 3 total? Is it a valid or invalid? It is a invalid because it is starting from the, okay, it starts with the digit 1. Okay, so that's why this is about the second case. So coming to the third point here, that is the third rule. What about the length? Okay, what is the maximum length we have to take? Is there any length? Okay, see this one. There is no length limit for the Java identifiers. There is no length limit, but it is not recommended to take more than 15 character length. Okay, so there is no length limit, okay, for the Java identifiers, but it is not recommended to take more than 15 character length. That you have to remember here. So should not take, or more, it is not recommended to take more than 15 character length. Okay, so that I think you have to remember here. Coming to the fourth point here, what about the case sensitive? Okay, so all Java identifiers are case sensitive. All Java identifiers are case sensitive here, like this. See, example, I'm taking the one number equals to 10 here. This is a one variable, or I can say this is an identifier, and I can take like this here, number equals to 20. This is a different variable because of the case sensitive, and I can take like this. Okay, so it is also a different variable here, different identifier here because of the case sensitive here. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is the Java identifiers are case sensitive. Okay, so this is about the fourth point. So coming to the fifth point here, so we should not use keywords or reservoirs as a identifiers here. Okay, keywords, okay, we are not allowed to use as a identifiers here. That you to remember here. Keywords, we should not use it as a identifiers here. So there are the 5 rules you have to follow. So while writing the, okay, Java program or defining the identifier. So what is the first rule? So it contains a sequence of characters. Okay, we take the letters. We can take letters A to Z. Okay, it may contain both upper or lowercase or digits from 0 to 9, or we have to take, or we can take the dollar symbol or underscore. Coming to the second rule here is the first letter should not be a digit. The first character should not be a digit here. And coming to the third here, so there is no length limit, but we are not, it is not recommended to take more than 15 character length. And coming to the fourth here is Java identifiers are case sensitive. And finally, fifth one here is, so keywords, okay, we should not use keywords as identifiers here. Okay, so these are things you have to remember. So clear everyone? Any questions?
Yes, clear.
Okay, next one. So I'll give the questions here. So see what are the valid identifiers you can guess here. First question here. I am taking the underscore, dollar, underscore. Next one is a cash. Next one is a, okay, I'm taking the int. Int is a keyword actually. Okay. Next one is a 1, 2, 3 total. So among these, so what are the valid identifiers and what are the invalid identifiers here?
First one is invalid.
Why it is invalid?
Should start with letter, character.
Not an issue. What I told here is the first letter should not be start with a digit. Only
Yeah,
digit.
okay.
We can take the character or underscore or a symbol actually. Okay, it is a valid, not an issue.
Valid.
What about the second one?
Valid.
Valid. What about the so third one?
Valid on.
It is
Why invalid?
because it is a keyword actually. It is a keyword. Int is a keyword. We should not use keywords as a identifiers. The
Okay.
last point here, see fifth point. Okay, we should not use okay keywords as identifiers. What about this one?
Invalid.
Invalid because it is starting from the digit. Okay, yes. Okay, these are the things that I remember. Okay, so this type of questions they will ask in the certification okay certification exams. Okay, so you have to be careful about that one here. Next one. So coming to the keywords here. So in Java we have 53 reserved words we have. Listen. So total 53 reserved words we have. In 53 there are 50 keywords. Keywords are 50. Okay, other three are reserved literals here. Other three are reserved literals. 3. So what are the literals we have? What are the reserved literals here? Okay, there are 3, right? The first one here is a true. Second one is a false. And finally we have a null. Okay, these three are called reserved literals actually. Again, in keywords, okay, so there are used keywords we have and unused keywords we have. There are 48 used keywords and 2 are unused keywords we have in the Java. See this one, used keywords, 48, and what are the unused keywords? 2 we have. Okay, what are the unused keywords we have? So there are 2, right? The first one here is a constant. We should not use the constant. So instead of constant, we can use the final keyword we have. So if we want to declare the constants, we can use the final keyword. Okay, we should not use the constant actually. Okay, so that is a deprecated. And coming to the next one is the go to. Okay, we should not use the go to in the Java program. Okay, that is a harmful to the Java programmer. Even in the C and C++ also, we should not use the go to statement, go to keyword actually. Okay, so these are the 2 unused keywords here. Instead of constants, what we can use the final keyword. Finally, also one keyword in the Java, we can use the final as well. Okay, so to declare the constants, and we should not use the go to. So these are the 2 unused keywords here. Next one here is what are the used keywords we have? We have a if statement, int, and float, double, try, catch, etc. Okay, these are the user keywords. We have around 48 user keywords we have. So I will list out. Okay, so the keywords for each and every topic. Okay, let's see here. Let's start with this keywords for the data types here. Keywords for the data types. I'm writing, see this one. Primitive data types. Okay, so you can guess here. Simple thing. First one here is a byte. Next one is a short, int, and a long. Okay, so along with this we have, for example, we want to represent the floating point numbers. For that we have a float, double. Okay, for representing the characters we have a char, and we have a boolean to represent the true or false here. These are the 8 keywords, so which are in the Java for the data types. Okay, next one, what are the keywords for the flow control statements like if else etc. Okay, so I'm writing, see this one here, keywords for flow control. The first one here is we can use the if statement. Next one is the else. Switch statement we can use, and in the switch statement we can use the case. In the same way we have default. Next one is a while loop. Okay, do while loop and for loop. And what are the keywords? Other keywords here: break, continue, and return. Okay, these are the keywords for the flow control. Actually, these are the keywords for the flow control. So what about the keywords for the exception handling? Okay, so what are the keywords for the exception handling? I'm writing, see this one. So try, catch, finally, throws here. Try, catch, finally, and here we have a throw keyword and throws keyword, and we have a assert keyword. So these all are related to the exception handling keywords here. Next one here is, so what are the keywords for the modifiers? Okay, what are the keywords for the modifiers here? Okay, see this one. The first one here is public. Next one is a private. Next one is a protected. After that we have a static, final, abstract, synchronized, native, and transient. Next one is volatile, and finally we have a strict FP. Okay, so these all are related to the modifiers here. These are all are related to the modifiers here. Next one here is, what are the class related keywords here? Okay, what are the class related keywords here? Okay, I'm writing, see this one, class related keywords. The first one here is, so for example, I want to write a class, then which keyword we have to use? We have to use the class. Next one, for example, I want to extend the a super class, then we have to use the extends inheritance concept. Okay, if you want to define the package, we have to use the package. Next one is, if you want to import classes or interfaces from the predefined library, we have to use the import, just like a hash include in the C and C++. And for example, I want to implement the interface, we have to use the implements. And for example, I want to create a interface, then we have to use the interface keyword here. Okay, so these are the class related keywords we have. These are the class related keywords. And finally, we'll go with the object related keywords here. Finally, we'll go with the object related keywords here. Okay, let's see. So what are the object related keywords we have? For example, we have a class. Now I want to create an object for that class. Okay, which keyword we have to use? We have to use the new keyword. Okay, in Java, we can use the, we have to use the new keyword for creating the objects. Okay, so that's the first thing you have to remember. Second one is the instance of. For example, we have an object. Okay, I want to test, this object, whether this object is belongs to the particular class or not. Then we have to use the instance means object. Okay, object of which class. Okay, so we can use this keyword for the testing whether the object is belongs to the particular class or not. And there is a super keyword to represent the super class, methods, members, etc. And after that we have this keyword to represent the present class, methods, and members here. Okay, so these are the object related keywords here. And we have a other keywords like series one, void we have, Okay, what is the use of the void here? Listen carefully. If a method doesn't return anything, okay, if a method doesn't return anything, compulsory we should declare that method with the void return type here. In the case of our main method also, we observe, so this main method is having the void return type. That means, so this main method doesn't return anything. Okay, that's why we have to declare, they declared as a void as a thing here. Okay, that's the thing here. That means this void means, so if a method doesn't return anything, compulsory we should declare that method with the void return type here. Okay, that's the thing. Method doesn't return anything. Okay, so that is the thing here to remember. And along with void we have a already we discussed that one, go to, and a constant we have. Okay, and we have a true, false, and null. So these all are the okay, keywords here. So once you complete the core Java, you will come to know all the okay keywords and all. You'll come to know all the keywords. Okay, so once we complete the core Java, clear everyone? Any questions?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, fine, good. Next one here, we'll start the first one like keywords for the data types. Okay, next topic is a data type. Okay, what is a data type and why should we go for the data types, and how many data types we have discussed. Okay, see this one. So for example, here we have a one identifier. I am taking the X. Okay, we have a one variable or identifier. I can say X we have. For example, I want to store some data like a 10. Okay, I want to store some data into that variable here. Now, which type of data I want to store into the X variable here? It may be I can store the character or float or double or okay integer here. Okay, so that will be decided by the data type here. Okay, for example, I want to store the integer, then we have to use int x is equal to 10. 10 means here is 10 is an integer, we are storing the 10 into the X variable. So this 10 is a which type of data? Integer type data here. Okay, for example, here we have a I have y variable here. I want to store the okay floating point numbers, for example 80.90. So what type of data is it? It is a float. That's why I'm taking the float by equal to 80.90 here. Okay, so this data type will describe the type of data storing into the variable. Okay, now how many types of data types we have? Okay, we have 8, right? So if you see this diagram, byte, short, int, long, and float, double, char, boolean. Okay, so here I'm writing, see this one, data types. So this data types are divided into 3 categories again. The first one here is a numeric data types. Listen carefully. The first category is numeric data type. Second one is a character data type, and finally here we have a Boolean data type here. What's the first one? Numeric data types. DT means something. Full name I'm writing. Data types. So second one here is second category, character data type, and finally we have a Boolean data types. Boolean data type. So coming to the numeric data types, again it is divided into two parts. First one is the integral data types. Those means whole numbers, and the second one is the floating point numbers for real numbers here. Okay, what is the first one? Integral data types, and what is the second type here is floating point data types. So coming to this one, what are the integral data types we have? We have 4, right? First one is a byte, next one is a short, int, and finally we have a long. These 4 data types are called integral data types here. What about the floating point data types we have? Float and double. So these two are called floating point data types here. So we have a char data type we have to represent the characters, and here finally we have a Boolean data types we have. Okay, for representing the so Boolean values like true or false. Okay, so this is about the segregation of the data types here. So let's start with this first one, byte. Okay, before going to that one, just I will give you one important point here. I say except Boolean and a character, except a Boolean and a character, all the remaining data types are signed data types here. What are the so remaining data types are called signed data types. That means so we can represent both positive and negative numbers here, except Boolean and character. So these are So these are the, we can call them as the signed data types here. Signed data type. That means we can represent both positive numbers and negative numbers here. Okay, so this is about the point to remember here. Now, so let's start with this byte data type here. So what is the size and what is the range? That means, so what is the maximum value we can store into the byte and what is the minimum value we can store into the byte here. Okay, that we'll discuss. So let's start with this first data type called byte. Okay, in the data types we'll discuss about the, what is the size, how many bits it will store. Okay, and what is the range. Okay, what is the maximum and what is the minimum range it can store here. Okay, so here 8 bits. And what is the range here is, so minus 128 to 127 only. Okay, so minimum value I can store minus 128 and what is the maximum value I can store 127. If I'm trying to store more than this 127, okay, we'll get the compile time error here. Okay, example, see this one, byte b equals to, I'm taking the, so 90, perfectly valid. For example, I'm trying to store the byte b equals to 130. So is a valid or invalid? It is a invalid. Will get the compile time error because byte cannot accommodate 130. It can store up to maximum 127 only. Okay. So this is about the byte here. Now, so there is a formula here, say, to identify the or to find the maximum and minimum value here. Okay. The formula here is simple. Minus 2 power n minus 1 to, okay, 2 power n minus 1 minus 1 here. Okay, like this. So n represents bits, actually n represents bits. Just substitute that 8 into the, okay, this formula here will give, you will get the, okay, minimum and a maximum number here. Okay, so minus 2 power n minus 1, n means 8 bits, right? So 7, okay, minus 2 power 7, how much? Minus 128 to 2 power n minus 1, 2 power 7 minus 1, how much? 127 only. Okay, so to, if you want to find the maximum and minimum values for the data types, you can use that formula actually. What is the formula? Minus 2 power n minus 1 to the 2 power n minus 1, n represents this bits here, equals to how many bytes? 1 byte here. 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. Okay, that you have to remember here. So this is about the byte here. So can I take like this here, byte b equals to true or false? Can I take like this here? So here we'll get the compile time error because we cannot store boolean values into the data types here. This byte data type, it can store up to 127, that to minus 128 to 127 here. Okay, so this is about the first thing. So coming to the next one here is short. Okay, see here is the most rarely used data type in Java is a short. Okay, so 95 or 99% we won't use this short data type in the Java here. Okay, so it is a rarely used data type in the Java is short here. Then what is the minimum range and what is the maximum range here? Okay, very simple. See, second one is a short data type. So the size here is, you will take the 16 bits. Okay, equals to how many bytes? 2 bytes. Okay, what is the range? Okay, so minus 2 power 15 to 2 power 15 1. Okay, 2 power 15 minus 1, that means minus 32,768 to 32,767. This much of value we can store into the short actually. Okay, so this is about the minimum value and that is a maximum value. If you want to, no need to remember all the values here. Okay, not required also. Okay, but remember the size, that 16 bits are 2 bytes, etc. That's the thing. Okay, this is about the short. And what about the integer? Okay, the most commonly used data type is int in Java actually. Okay, maximum will use the int is the for representing the, okay, so this numbers and all. Okay, then what is the size and what is the range here? Okay, let's see. Integer. So coming to the size, okay, so 32 bits equals to how many bytes? 4 bytes here. Then what is the range here? Okay, so no need to remember this range here. If you want, you can see the, okay, you can calculate the using the calc here. It's a big one here. See, 2 power minus 2, 2 power, okay, so 31, like this. How much value? 2147483648 here, and minus 1, 47 is the max value. Okay, this much of a value we can store into the, okay, integer here. Okay, so this is about the integer. And finally we have a long. Okay, what is the size here? So here, if int is not enough to hold big values, if int is not enough to hold the big values, you can go with the long data type here. Then what is the size here? So yeah, it bytes, nothing but a 64 bits, or we can say 8 bytes. Then how much range? What is the range here? Okay, it is a big value. If you see, so 2 power, okay, 63. Okay, this much of value we can store here, and minus 1, so 807 actually. Okay, this much of value we can store into the long data type here. Okay, so that's the thing. These are the integral data types here. How many integral data types we have? 4. First one is a byte, second one is a short and int and a long here. So what is the size of the byte here? 8 bits. Okay, what is the minimum and max value? Minus 128 to 127. What is the formula to calculate the minimum and max value? Minus 2 power n minus 1 to 2 power n minus 1 minus 1 here. Okay, so these are about the integral data types here. Next one, coming to the floating point data type here. For example, I want to present the decimal values. Okay, then we can go with the floating point data types here. So there are two, float and double here. See, we will take one small example on the floating point here. See, okay, floating point data types. How many data types we have? Two data types. First one is a float, second one is a double. First one is a float, second one is a double. So coming to the float here, so what is the size and what is the range we can store into the float here? Very simple. Size equals to 4 bytes, and what is the range? Range is equal to C minus 3.4 e power, e means 10 to the power 38 to, okay, 3.4 e to the power 10 to the power 38 here. Okay, this much of value we can store into the float data type here. So minus 3.4 into 10 to the power 38 to 3.4 into 10 to the power 38. Okay, that much of value we can store. Then, so this is very important here. Listen, I'm going the star mark here. So when should we go for the float data type here? When should we go for the float data type? Listen carefully. If 6 to 7 decimal places of accuracy is required, what is that one? If 6 to 7, so decimal places of accuracy is required, then you can go with the float data type here. Okay, so that I think you have to remember here. And coming to the double here, so what is the size? Size is 8 bytes. And what is the range? Range here is, so minus 1.7 into 10 to the power or e power 308 to, okay, 1.7, okay, e power 308. This much of value we can store into the double here. Now my next question here is, so when should we go for this double data type here? When should we go for the double data type here? Okay, let's see. Say if 14 to 15 decimal places, okay, if 14 to 15 decimal places of accuracy is required, then you can go with the double data type here. Okay, if so 14 to 15 decimal places of accuracy is required, then we can go with the double data type here. Okay, so that's the thing here to remember here. This is about the float and the double here. And we'll go with the next one, that is a character. Okay, so here, to support all worldwide character sets, Java char size is at 2 bytes actually. In the case of C and C++, so what is the char size? Only 1 byte. Hello.
So what is 6 to 7 places of accuracy means?
For example, here, say we have a 12 point, we have a 978 something here. See this one. Okay, if we want, okay, so 6 to 7, we have a, after decimal point, after point, we have a so many, okay, digits we have. Okay, but I require only 6 to 7 places after this decimal point here. Then we can go with the float here. When I'm taking the, so float f equals to 12.8967. So after decimal place, how many digits we have? Like 10 to 12 here. Let's assume. Now when I'm printing the SOP of f, how much value we are going to get here is 12 point. Only 6 digits we are going to get here. 89, 87, and 65 here. The remaining will be ignored. The remaining will be ignored in the case of float. I want all the things here. Okay, I want 14 to 15 decimal places. Okay, so now we have to use the double here. Double d equals to, okay, so now 12 point, for example, I have a this much of value of a decimal point here. I require all minimum 14 to 15 decimal places. Now when I'm printing the SOP of SOP means system.out.println d. Okay, so what is output here? We'll get the as is here. So it will take the 14 to 15 decimal places. So from this, okay, double value variable actually. Okay, so in the real time we won't use that 14 to 15 decimal places. Actually in the real time also the currency will take only 2 digits actually. Okay, so there's a thing to remember here. Some cases we require so that to 6 to 7, then we can go with the float actually. Got it, Shirisha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll take this example with the Eclipse actually. Okay, so tomorrow we'll discuss about the Eclipse setup. Okay, how to create a project in the Eclipse and how to execute. We'll see here. In that case, I will take this example float and double there. Yeah. So this is about the thing you have to remember. And we'll go with the char here. Okay, to support all worldwide character sets, Java char size is at 2 bytes here. Okay, 2 bytes here. Then what is the range here? Okay, the range here is it will store the 0 to 65,535, okay, characters it can accommodate actually. That's why so they made this char size is a 2 bytes here. Okay, that you have to remember here. So for example here, so there is a char ch is equal to, I can take the 97. For this 97 there is a character. Okay, that is a small a. For example, char ch is equal to, we have a 65 in this case. So it will give the, what is output? It will give the, it will give the capital A. Okay, but that means so to support all worldwide character set, Java char size is at 2 bytes actually. Okay, so that you remember here. And even if you want, you can store a single character like this, char ch equals to, so we have to, okay, use the only single character like this. If you want to store, you can use like this here in single quotes. Okay, this a is now character here. I should not take the ab like this. Okay, it will leave the compile time error. If you want to store single character, then we can go with the char data type and with single quotes here. In single quotes, so we should not use more than one character like this. It will give the compile time error. It should be only one character here. Okay, so this is about the char. Anyhow, we'll take small examples on this character as well. So this is about the thing to remember. And finally, we have a Boolean data type here. Finally, we have a Boolean data type here. So here, so there is no size and range for this Boolean data type here.
Yeah, Srinivas.
Yes,
Sorry,
please.
sorry to disturb.
Yes.
Srinivas. Yeah.
Yes.
Character range you have given, right? Actually, it is taking ASCII values A, B, C, and
Yes.
97 means cap
Yes.
small a and all,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I think 65535 means, but you have given range, right? 0 to 6.
Yes. 0 2. That means
Understand?
char can store 0. Okay, like this here. Char ch equals to 0. It can store, and char ch maximum value equal to 65,535. This much of value can store to this much of value. Okay,
But
that
if you
means.
store like
Mm,
97, 65, then it will take consider as ASCII values.
yes. So generally in Java, so we cannot call that as a ASCII value. Okay, it is called as a Unicode system actually. Okay, same. So but in the case of C and C++, we can call them as a ASCII, but in the Java we can call them as a Unicode actually. Unicode instead of ASCII code. That means here is, say in the world, so there are so many languages here, right? So to support all language characters, okay, they given this much of values here. Okay, so English letters, so it can store, so 65, it is a, what is the 65 means? It is a and 66 means b here. And in the same way, so some other number will be occupied for the, okay, some other language here. Okay, that's why so they made this char size is a 2 bytes. Got it?
Okay.
Yeah. So next one here is, so Boolean character, Boolean here. So what is the size and what is the range here? Okay, see here, there is no size and there is no range here, but the allowed values are true or false only. Okay, for example, I'm taking the Boolean x equals to, I can take true or I can take false here. Boolean, okay, y equals to false. If I'm taking other than this, we'll get the compile time error here. Okay, other than this, we'll get the compile time error. Okay, so this is about the, so data types actually. Okay, I will give the example on this one. See, when I'm taking the boolean, okay, b equal to 0, is it valid or not? I'm taking the boolean, okay, so b equals to, I'm taking the all are in the capital letters like true, and I'm taking the boolean, okay, b equals to yes, I'm taking here. And finally, so in this case, so what is the output here? Okay, so all are valid or all are invalid, and what are the valid and what are the invalid in this case? Three cases. Anybody? First one is a valid or invalid?
First two are maybe first two are true, I think.
Okay, first two are valid. Yeah, okay. So in this case here, so all are invalid actually. Okay, we should not take the 0, but in the case of C and C++, 0 means false and 1 means a true, right? So that rule is not applicable in the Java. And we should not take the capital letters here, we should take the only small letters. Okay, true or, so that the keywords, right, true and false here, literals here. Okay, we should not take the capital letters here, and we should not take the S also. S, no, we should not take. Okay, so that I remember here. So this is about the thing. So everybody clear? Any questions on this data types?
No, sir.
Okay, good. So I'll give the an SCJP question actually. So I have to discuss that in the control statements, but here, so my concentration on the Boolean data type. So that's why just let me write
Here,
this.
Srinivas, one
Yes.
second. Do I have to use always small letters only for true, false?
Yes, small letters. Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
No 0 ones and capital letters, and other than that, not used.
Yes, not used. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So I'll give the one example SCJP question, certification question, please. Okay. So try to solve this one. Int x equal to 0. Okay, if, okay, so anyhow we'll discuss this if else in the later. So but so I need to discuss about this Boolean data type. That's why I'm taking this one example. X here, if x, okay, if it is a true, it will execute this block here. I'm taking the SOP of SOP means system.out.println hi, and system.out.println, next one is the hello. Okay, like this here. Now, so what is the output of this program here? They will ask this type of questions in the certification exams or in the interview panel. Int x is equal to 0 if x and SOP of high, else. That means if it is a true, if block will be executed. Okay, if it is a false, then else block will be executed here. Okay, so in this case, what is the output? So first one is the options. Okay, the output will be
default is false.
Default is false. Okay. First option is the hello, second option is the compile time error, and third option here is okay, so none of the above. I can take like this here. What is the output here? So the here you here will get
there won't be any output, sir.
Okay, see,
Actually, you haven't declared as a Boolean right here.
Yes,
Integer you have given.
yes, exactly, yes. So in this case we'll get the compile time error here, because so the conditional, okay, the conditional statements will take the booleans, not the integers 0 or 1. It will take the either true or false, not 0 or 1. Okay, but this is valid in the C program. If I'm taking this example and running in the C program or C compiler, it will give the output will be hello. But in the case of okay Java, it is not valid. This conditional statements will take either true or false, not 0 and 1 here. Okay, so that's the thing here. You will get the compile time error here. Okay, so this is about the example you have to remember here. So tomorrow we'll discuss about the all summarization of all the Java primitive data types with default values. Okay, later we'll go with the operators, and tomorrow we'll set up the okay Eclipse, how to okay download and how to okay install the Eclipse and how to create the project in the Eclipse. Okay, yeah, any questions? So please if you have any question, please ask me, otherwise we'll meet tomorrow at same time, 8:30 to 9:30. Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Srinivas.
Okay, fine. Thanks, Shiva. Rohini, do you have any questions? Hello? No? Okay. So we'll meet tomorrow at same time, 8:30 to 9:30. Yeah, please. Bye.
Okay, sir. Bye. Thank you.